Alright, my mathematics lovers, we're here again. Today we want to explore the concept of known and unknown. On the screen you can see what is called a very simple equation. In this simple equation we said y is equals x plus 2. This type of equations, they come about because you are trying to describe a phenomenon. You're trying to describe the world around you. Now, maths is about exploring the world around us. There are so many things around us, the ones we see, the ones that have direct effects that we can observe, and the ones that we do not see, but their effect is there, even if we cannot observe it directly, but it does not mean that the effect is not there. Take for example, gravity. You cannot see gravity. That is the force that kind of pushes you to the ground so that you do not fall, so that you maintain your balance. It's not a force that you can see, but you cannot deny its existence. It is there. So, how do you get to explore gravity? How do you know how strong it is? So there are equations, simple equations that are used to describe those things, and it is through observations, through experimentation that people come across the laws that govern those things. Now, the purpose of equations, or one of the reasons why we have equations, is to describe things that we cannot see or that we cannot observe directly. What I mentioned earlier is, in this simple equation, we are assuming that y is an unknown. That means this is a quantity, a force, or something we do not actually know what it is, but we know that it is there. How do we calculate it? Now, the x is another variable that is known. We are saying that this known variable, if you add 2 to it, you'll be able to get the value of y. So, that is where the concept of known and unknown and simple equation comes from. So, with equations like this, you can discover hidden facts, things that ordinarily you would not have been able to know with your physical eyes or our 5 senses of touch, hear, and the rest of it. Now, did you notice that in this equation, there is more than one variable? Yes. Y is a variable and x is a variable. Unlike when we have something like x minus 2 equals 12. In this case, there is only one variable. And to get this one variable is just to manipulate these numbers. Like we mentioned in the last video, just move this minus 2 to the other side and it becomes plus 2, so we'll get x. But in this other one, there are two variables, the unknown variable and then the known variable, which we know the number. So we have y as a variable and then we have x as a variable. Now, this brings us to the topic of changing the subject of a formula. In this case, we are saying that y is the subject of this formula. The variable that is of interest that you want to find out, you make it the subject of the formula. To make it the subject of a formula, that variable has to be alone on one side of the equation. This equality sign makes it an equation. On one side of the equality sign, the variable that you are looking for, the unknown, you place it on one side and every other thing on the other side. It could have been that the variable that we're looking for is x, the one that is unknown. So how do we do that? How do we make x the subject of this formula? Currently, y is the subject of the formula. How do we make x the subject of the formula? Just watch. Remember that we said that to make something the subject of a formula, that thing has to be alone on one side of the equation, either on the left-hand side or on the right-hand side. Now, if we want to make x the subject of the formula, 2 is attached to x with a positive bond. So it's a question of moving the 2 over to the other side. And to move the 2 over to the other side, we have 2 techniques for doing that. Our first technique is this. We will subtract 2 from both sides of this equation. Let's call this equation 1. So we will subtract 2 from both sides of the equation. So y minus 2 equals x plus 2 minus 2. And when we do that, plus 2 and minus 2 will just go away. So we'll now have y minus 2 equals x, or simply x equals y minus 2. So with what we have done, we have changed the subject of this formula from y is equals x plus 2 to now x equals y minus 2. Very easy, isn't it? Yes, so this is just a simple introduction to changing the subject of the formula. In the next video, we are going to do a whole lot of examples, and then you'll get familiar with the way we do these things. Thank you. Please share this video. Please comment on this video. Please follow this page, and please invite others to follow this page. Thank you. Bye for now.